Hey, beautiful people. I'm glad you blessed me with your time. I hope that life finds you in a good mind state. And I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. Have you ever felt the feeling of being used? Better yet, do you know when someone is using you? That's what I want to talk about today. So, in this video, I want to tell you about 5 signs to look out for to tell if someone's using you. Plus, on top of that, I want to give you a few things that you can do to test someone to see if they're using you. So, without further ado, let's get started. We're gonna get high. I got my joint. I hope you're smoking. Oh, it's Friday. I hope you're in a good. I hope you're in a good place right now. Watching this video. I hope you're prosperous and I hope things are going really well for you. So, I want to talk about, before I get started, I want to say a disclaimer. No matter who you are, no matter who you are, you're going to be used. It's like that song, Everybody Plays a Fool Sometimes. It, everybody is going to be used. Again, no matter who you are, it's inevitable. You're going to be used by someone, you know. So, but here are 5 things, or 5 signs to look out for if you feel that someone's using you, or to look out for to see if someone is using you. Number 1, manipulation. Manipulation. So, manipulation, I say that number 1 because I feel that is the most important element that a person needs if they're a type of person who uses people. Because a person who manipulates people, because you have to kind of be really good at storytelling. Now, what is manipulation? I mean, I can't give you the real definition. I'm pretty sure you can Google if you really just want to know what the meaning. But pretty much in a nutshell, in one word, feelings. See, with manipulation, when a person manipulates you, they make you feel some kind of way, and usually it's a way to kind of give in to what they're requesting. So that goes into the first sign. That's number 1, manipulation. So a person will manipulate you. So here's an example of I would say manipulation. A person says, hey, do you have $200 because I'm short on my rent? And I need that money by today or I'm gonna get put out on the street. Now part of you gonna be like, heck no, I don't have $200 to give you, but then a part of you like, especially if this is a really good friend, if this is your significant other, or this is one of their in-laws, or this is your family member, or whatever, really close family member, part of you is gonna say no, but the other half of you is gonna be like, well, this is my friend, this is such and such. And then, and the person who's like really good at manipulation, they'll bring up things that they've done for you to kind of make you feel even more guilty about saying no, And so what happens is like, okay, you don't want to, maybe you can, but then you'll do it because, it's like you feel bad if you turn them down. So again, the number 1 sign that most people who use people, they use manipulation, and they use it a lot, a lot. So number 2, sign that someone's always using you is, and this is pretty obvious, is the only time that you see them, the only time you hear from them is when they have a problem, when they have an issue, when they have a problem, when they need help with something and they need your, like, for example, maybe they need a ride, and the only time they're going to call you is when they need a ride. or they need someone to talk to, about their relationship, and you're the only ear that they will talk to them. So they'll contact you, and that's the only time they want to talk to you is about their relationship. Maybe that's if they need money, they'll reach out to you anytime they need some money, and that's the only time you hear from them. You give them money, and then you don't hear from them for until they need some more money, and then they hit you up. So it's the only time that you really see them. Like, maybe your birthday comes around, and they'll maybe say, happy birthday, but that's about it. So again, number one is manipulation. Number two, again, it's pretty obvious. The only time you see them, the only time you'll hear from them is when they need a favor or they need something from you, that only you can provide. Maybe they asked other people, and other people like, no, they can't help, and you're the kind of like, the only person they can go to, really. Or you're the easiest to go to because they may come to you first because you're the easiest. Like, maybe you'll give in to their request or whatever. So that's number two. Number three is that another sign is that they don't put your situation into account. Like, your situation is not important at all. Your views on things, your opinions on things doesn't matter. So here's a really good example of that. A person says, maybe you have to be at work at 6 in the morning, right? And a person may need a ride, to the grocery store, or they need a ride to go get their, maybe they need a ride to go get their boyfriend out of jail or something, go bond him out of jail, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And so a person may call you because you're the only person that has a car, or they need to get their car at the impound and you're the only person with a driver's license. So they'll call you at 2 in the morning, and knowing that you got to go to work at 6, and so they'll call you like, hey, can you help me? I got to get my car, I got to go to work, I'm going to get put out on the street, and they'll give you this sad story. You're like, well, I got to go to work at 6, and then it's like they didn't even hear that. They're still going on with the story. Or, again, they just kind of don't put your situation into account. Like, or they just don't kind of put your view of things. Maybe, there's a situation, they're talking to you about their problems, they're talking to you about their issues or whatever, and then you try to give an opinion about something, it's like it's overheard, or it's, they talk over it, and it's like, they don't dwell or anything, right? And so again, it's, so again, number one is the manipulation, really, really big on that. Again, a person will use manipulation to that's kind of like their ace in the hole, I would say. Number two, the only time they pop up, or the only time you hear from them is when they need something from you. Money, they need a favor, whatever, they need an ear, whatever, maybe a meal or something. And so, number three, they don't kind of like respect your opinion. They don't respect, like, your situation. Again, if you had to go to work at 6 in the morning, they come calling you at 2 o'clock asking you, can they, knowing that you had to go to work, maybe, it could wait, And I know that in some situations, like, in some situations, maybe that's warranted. Maybe someone, if it's like a family member and they went to the hospital, of course, but you can kind of tell in those kind of situations. You can kind of tell, a person's hitting you up because their car went to the impound, or they went to jail and they need someone to come down there with license to co-sign or whatever. That's kind of different than if someone say, I don't know if they in the hospital, or they're stranded out of town, they have no one else to call, and you're the only person that they can call. But usually if it's that kind of situation, it's a really, really good friend. You've been in a situation, they've done, because that's what it's all is here. Is because if you're ever in a situation, this person, persons have come through you. So yes, 2 o'clock in the morning call, if they're gonna call you, it's gonna be something important, right? It's not just gonna be because I need you, can you help me out type of thing, right? And so again, they're gonna just kind of, not take your situation into account, right? So number four is if you tell them no, if you tell them no, they kind of, if you tell them no, it's kind of like you can kind of see how their whole attitude kind of changes towards you. You know, uh, you kind of just won't notice people like, sometimes, if you were to say, you helping a person out and, it's cool and everybody's laughing and having a good time, but the minute you say no, it's like, you kind of said something wrong. You did say something wrong, or, you just kind of like you stabbed them in the back and they can't believe you tell them no, when, sometimes you can't, you just don't have it. And a person, sometimes people just don't understand that. So that's number 4. Again, that's kind of self-explanatory there. If you tell a person no, and again, you kind of watch their reaction. And again, a lot of times people might not get upset, or they try to show they're not upset, but what they'll do is, again, manipulation. They'll try to manipulate the situation, or they'll try to turn it, and make you feel guilty about saying no. Person may say, "Hey, can you loan me $50?" You're like, "Oh, I don't have it." "Oh, okay. Well, thank you anyway. I just needed some food because I haven't eaten. I haven't eaten in 5 days." And then you got to, and you be like, "Oh, shit, you haven't eaten in 5 days. Damn. Okay." You might give them $50 after you told them no. And again, that's just, the manipulating the situation or whatnot. So that's number 4. Number 5. Um, so the last and final thing of what a sign to look out for if someone is using you would be is if a person makes a promise, they don't keep it. Okay. If a person makes a promise, they don't keep it. If the person makes plans and they don't come through. If you have plans and they don't come through. So let's say you're going to go to the club and be like, "Hey, I'm having a little gathering event. Come through," and they don't come through. Or maybe they come through empty-handed. Or a person will say, you treat them to dinner, and then next week they'll be like, because they get paid, they're going to have some extra money or whatnot. And they'll be like, "Okay, well, next weekend, I'm going to treat you to a nice meal or whatever." And then next week it rolls around and you don't hear from them. Or they give you excuse, "Oh, I can't do it because such and such." But then the following week, they want you to take them out to eat. Or, or a ride, maybe you're giving them a ride to work, and then when payday comes, they don't offer you no money for gas, for giving them a ride to work, and I'm kind of throwing a little bit this is a bonus, or it's number 5 or whatever, is that they never show gratitude, they're never happy. So you might do something for someone, and, a person who's kind of using you, they will treat it like you're obligated to help them, So if you do something, it might be like, "Well, thank you," but it's going to be a half-hearted thank you. It's not going to be like, "Oh, I really appreciate what you did for me. I really appreciate how you went out your way for me. I really appreciate how you used your resources, how you used your energy, your time for me." It won't show no type of gratitude. It'll be like, "Thank you. Thank you." And then it's just like, go on, like it was an honor to help them, And that's how a person who might be like a user will treat it. Like, really they kind of treat you like you're beneath them. So again, here's just to recap again. Manipulation, number 1, manipulation. And this is no practical order or anything, but these are just kind of some signs. And these are not everything. I mean, if a person does all of this, maybe it's a red flag to kind of keep your guard up. I'm not saying this is everything, because there's other things out there, that's a sign or a signal that, someone may not be in your best interest. But again, number 1, manipulation. Person manipulates you. Again, they're going to kind of manipulation is pretty much where a person flips the story around or twists the story to kind of suits them, you know, and it makes you feel like you're obligated to help them, you know, whether it's a sad story, where it's kind of they pressure you, you know, when you manipulate someone, I believe it's like you're pressuring them to kind of help you, you know, a person is pressuring you to help them, you know, or give in to their request or whatever. So that's the first one, manipulation. Number two, again, if they're only showing up, you know, the only time you see them is when they want something. You know, it's not when, you know, they're just popping up and say, hey, I'm checking on you. I ain't seen you in a while. I just kind of wanted to see how you was doing. You know, it's just popping up, hey, do you got $20? Or hey, you know, can you smoke some weed with me? Or hey, you know, you got cigarettes? Or hey, do you got, you know, they're always asking. You know, they're never giving, they're always asking. Or they may give you something, or they may do something, but they're always bringing it up. You know, they're always constantly reminding you of it, you know, and so that's number two. Number three would be, you know, they never take your side of things. You know, they never take your situation, you know, you're into account. You know, so again, someone like, you know, someone again, if you gotta go to work at 6 in the morning, and you know they want you to get the car out the impound, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, you know they know you gotta get up for work, you know. Again, so that's number three. Number four is, you know, they can't take no. You know, you tell a person no, they kind of act funny, they kind of act wishy-washy, and you know. So and then number five is well, I forgot what number five was, but I mean, you can rewind it and, you know, see what I said for the fifth one. I really forgot what I said for number five. Yeah, I must be getting really high. But let's go on to the next part here. So the next thing is that here are some things that you can do to test the person. Okay, here are some things you can do to test the person to see if they're using you. All right, if they're only in it for their own benefit. Now, another disclaimer here. I know at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, us people are in it for ourselves, right? We're only in it for our own well-being. We putting ourselves first. You know, I know if you got kids or you got loved ones, maybe you're gonna put them, but really, what it all comes down to, you're gonna put yourself first, right? Not very few, like in the movies. I don't believe that. Like in the movies, where a person might sacrifice them. You know, the guy he might jump in front of a speeding car to save a woman, and you know what I'm saying, he gonna push the woman and he jumps in front. I don't believe that shit will, I mean, I don't believe that happens in real life. Like you know, your friend, and you know, you like run, and then you know the fucking monster is chasing you, and you like run, and you stand and fight the monster. I don't think stuff like that happens in real life. So I think to each, when it's all said and done, you know, everyone's in it for themselves. But there are some things you can do to test the person out. You feel like you're in that situation where they're using you, right? So first thing, you know, you can do is tell them no. See what their reaction is, and you tell them no. You know, again, if they kind of give you funny, like they're acting funny or whatever, you know, you probably, this person is probably using you. You know what I mean? And you know, it's not good. Something else that you can do here. I had this stuff written down, and I'm trying to, you know, not look at it while I'm reading it off, because I was trying to. But you know, you tell them no, and then something else that you could do here is that you can ask them to do something. You know, ask them to do something, something minor. You know, ask them to give you a, you know, like if they have a car, you know, Ask them to take you somewhere way out yonder and see if they would. You know, ask them to loan you $20. You know, if they can. You know, if they say no, they give you excuses, or no, they don't got it, or all they would, you know, and but yet they were asking you for money or whatnot, and they didn't pay you back, or you know, they're asking you for rides, but they don't give you money for gas, or you know, maybe asking you can they come stay with you, but they don't give you money for food or whatever. You know, something's wrong in this picture. You know what I mean? So you know, if you, that's what I say, just ask them, hey, can you come over and help me move this couch? Or can you give me a ride to the country or something? You know, something that's going to kind of take a little bit more, it's going to take a little effort, but it's not major, something minor. You know, that's something that you can, you know, you can test them on, you know. Do they keep these promises? Do they keep these promises? Like again, like if a person tells you, you know, I know there's things that comes up that, you know, we can't always keep our promises, right? We say, hey, you know, next week we're gonna go out and hang out and have a great time, but then next week your job may ask you, hey, I need you to work this weekend. Or, you know, I need you to work, you know, I need you to put in 10 hours of overtime this week. You know, we behind schedule. You know, and of course, you know, you're tired or whatever, I need you to pick up this shift, you know, because such and such called in, you know, and we're kind of shorthanded, so I need you to pick up this shift. So you're working a double or whatnot. And so, yeah, you might, or your mom might call you and say, hey, I need you to come watch, my dogs or whatever, because I'm on a cruise or whatever. So, you know, yeah, you might can't go out, but, you know, but is this a constant thing? Is this a reoccurring thing? Like, you know, a person might say, you know, again, you know, you treat them out to drinks, you know, say, hey, let's go out this weekend, and they don't have no money, but they kind of make you feel sad, like they're stressed out, they need to get out the house. You don't really want to go to the club, but this person might say, well, you know, this person might say, well, you know, I'm sad, I'm stuck in the house, and you know, I'm stressed out, and you know, I just need some air, and you know, and they pretty much telling you, you know, all these stories to get you to go to the club, and then it's like, I don't have no money, and you get them drinks, and then y'all go to IHOP afterwards and eat, and you show them a good time, you know what I'm saying? You spent all this money, show them a good time because they're stressed out, but then, you know, when they get paid, it's like you don't hear from them. You know, or if you do go out and, you know, they're acting like you know, they get being cheap, you know, they being cheap, well, we're only gonna get some beers and we're gonna go to McDonald's and get something off the dollar menu, you know, and it's like, or can you give me $5 for gas or whatever, and it's like, well, you know, but again, you know, so you just test, you know, that's another test you can do is just, you know, again, if a person is just kind of overreacting, you know, acting like they can't do for you. But really, if you want to kind of see, not so much if a person's using you, but if what kind of friend you have, what kind of person you have in your circle, or what kind of person you're kind of being, you know, aligning yourself with. Here's the one simple thing that you can do is go to Amazon, right? And on Amazon, they got this fake money you can go get. Buy the fake money, it's cheap. You know, you can buy, you know, it's like $10 for $100,000 or some crazy like that. $10 for $1,000 or something. I don't know. But they got this fake money. It looks real. You know, take a $20 bill, $100 bill, whatever. And you know, because you got to do this when you know you and this person is going to be in the same area and pretty much where they're going to see you, and there's nobody else. You know, maybe you're in their home, it's just you and them. Maybe you're in their car and nobody else is going to get in there. But what you do is you purposely, so they can see you, drop $20 on the floor, or drop $100. Yeah, $100. Act like you're digging in your wallet or in your pocket or your purse or your pocketbook or your coin purse or whatever, and pretend like $100 fall on the ground. Don't say nothing, you know, and make sure they see you when they do that, you know. And if they, hey, you dropped your money. Hey, you know, you left $20 behind or whatever, you know, whatever, you know, that's probably okay person. You know, they may ask, well, hey, can I borrow this 20 or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, they probably okay person, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they got good intentions, you know, maybe the actions aren't good, but they got good intentions. Now, if a person picks that $20 up or pick that $100 up, you know, one is fake, so you're not really losing no money. But if they don't call you and you knew you dropped it and they didn't call you or you left it, you know, you invite them over and you leave like say a couple of $100 on your coffee table or whatever, and you come back and them couple of hundreds is gone, you know what I'm saying? But you know it's fake, you knew it was sitting there, and they took it, you know, they ain't saying nothing. You know that's kind of a person that's not gonna be in your best interest. You know, a person is gonna do more harm than good at the end of the day. And if it came down to it, you know, again, I know we're not in the business of sacrificing ourselves for others, but you know, if it came down to it, if it was you and them, like that show, The Squid Games. I don't know if you ever seen The Squid Games, but it's pretty much if it came down to it, it's like, will you sacrifice? You know, are you gonna kill this person to win? You know what I'm saying? Because you're not gonna kill yourself. You know, and when it comes down to it, you know, you're gonna kill that person, or that person's gonna try to kill you, whatever, to win the prize or whatever. And so, you know, if you leave, you know, a couple hundred on the floor and the person pick it up and they don't call you, say, hey, you lost your money, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even call them back no more. I really wouldn't. I cut them off, leave them alone, and keep it going, you know? So that's some things that you could do to test. Again, that's not everything you can do, you know what I'm saying? But that's just some things you can do. Now, you know, I mean, of course, again, we all getting used. You know, at the end of the day, we all gonna get used. You know what I'm saying? Your boss man gonna use you for your you know, for your working. You know what I'm saying? Your landlord gonna use you for your money to pay the rent, because you know they gonna generate money off of you. You know, the billing people gonna use you. The bank gonna use you to make money off of you, because they collecting the interest when you're paying back your car loan, or you know, your house loan, or your student loan, or your credit card loan, whatever. They're making interest. So everybody is going to use, you know, everybody's using everybody, right? But you know, when you're with when you're with a person who's kind of in the same boat as you, to be used by a person like that, where it's not benefiting you at the end of the day, you know, so those are some things that you can look out for. Those are some things you can do. And finally, I just want to touch on here before I go, is if you are in a situation where someone is using you, someone is taking advantage of your kindness, your good-heartedness, what do you do? What do you do to get out of that situation? And, you know, the best thing that you can do to get out of a situation like that, to end that kind of situation, I'm going to tell you, you just do it, just one word will take care of all of that. Say no. That's all you got to do. Say no. Say no. You know, you say that enough times, person's going to stop coming around, or, you know, they're just going to stop coming around. You know, you say no enough times, you know, because you know, in the beginning it may be kind of hard, might be difficult, you know, may feel uncomfortable because you don't want to hurt a person's feelings, you know, you don't want to seem like an asshole, you want to seem like you're cool or whatever, or down, or you're there for that person, or what. Sometimes you gotta say no, you know, you just gotta kind of bite the bullet. You know, you gotta ruffle some feathers. You can't be timid about it. You know, you just gotta tell them no. You might can be nice about saying no or whatever. Hey, I can't do it, or I don't feel comfortable doing it, or whatever the case may be. But you know, just tell them no. That's all you gotta do is just say no, and you know, they won't use you. Because here's a quote. I'm gonna leave it with this quote here. You know, I don't know if it's a quote. I don't know if it's a cliche. I don't know if it's cliche. I don't know who said it. You know. But I know it's this. You are being done what you allow to be done. A person is only going to use you as much as you allow them to use you. You know. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I hope you I forgot what I was saying, but anyway.